What if the thing stopping you from hitting 15% body fat has nothing to do with what you're eating? My name's Adam. I'm a performance nutritionist. I've helped dozens of men over 30 get to 15% body fat. Now, look, calories matter, and I'm not going to tell you they don't. But for most men over 30 who already train, they already know what to eat and what they should be doing. This is not where the problem lies. So I'm breaking down 5 brutal truths about getting to 15%, covering consistency, how you're actually training, and how you see yourself. All of these have nothing to do with finding the perfect diet. Here's something most guys don't want to hear. Remember those good patches you've had? Yeah, they probably weren't as good as or nearly as consistent as you remember them being. And studies have shown that people who are only hitting their habits, their core habits, 40 to 50% of the time, still lost weight and improved their health markers. We're not even talking about guys who nailed it every single day, but the ones who got it right 3 to 4 days a week, and they just kept showing up for months. Because when you actually track a full week, it's usually different from what you expected. Monday and Tuesday are great. Wednesday, you went out, and by Thursday, you're just knackered. And then the weekend just falls apart. And that's not the 70 to 80% consistency it felt like you were hitting. That's closer to 20%. So I want you to pick 3 simple behaviors you can actually track. Does your eating follow roughly some sort of usual structure? Did you get your training in or at least a long walk? Did you eat slowly enough to stop before you were stuffed? Log it every single day for a week and see where your consistency actually lands. And if you're under 30%, don't worry about changing anything yet. Just focus on getting to at least 40 or 50% because, again, the studies do show that some progress starts to happen there. But then focus on bringing that up to 80 to 90% over time. 15% isn't built on like perfect weeks. No one has perfect weeks. It's built on good enough weeks repeated long enough that your body has no choice but to respond. Okay, this is something I see almost every time I walk into a gym. Guys are showing up consistently. They're working hard. They're putting in the time and making almost no progress. But if you ask them about their training, they'll tell you they've been lifting for years. But when you actually look at what they're doing, it's the same weights with the same number of reps that they were doing years ago. And that's not training, that's just exercising. And the difference does matter way more than most guys realize because exercise is just movement, which is good for you. It burns some calories, it helps improve your health, but it doesn't drive the body composition change on its own. And what actually tells your body to hold on to muscle while you're losing fat is progressive training, where the challenge is increasing over time in a structured way. And the studies have shown that this kind of resistance training is one of the biggest drivers of body recomposition in men over 30. And without it, getting to 15% is a lot harder than it needs to be. It's actually what makes 15% look the way it does. I'll tell you now, without it, you won't look like 15% body fat. So the honest question is, when did you last deliberately increase the challenge of your training in a structured way? We're not talking about randomly going heavier when something felt easy, but actually following progression. Because if you're doing the exact same thing you were doing 3 months ago, your body has already adapted to it. And it stopped being a stimulus a long time ago. And a simple way to put this together is to pick 3 or 4 main lifts and then make sure something is progressing every 2 to 3 weeks. That could be your form, that could be the weight, the reps, or how hard the last set feels. And I would track this in a app or a notepad, and that's it. It doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to be intentional. Okay, so when you put a plan together, most men think about just how they feel in that moment. They're motivated. So they design it around their best days, ideal days, the days when they've slept well. Work isn't crazy. The kids are sorted and they've got time to prepare a good meal. And on those days, a plan works really well. Of course it does. But those days aren't most days. And that's where everything just falls apart. Now we've got studies that have shown that what separates the guys who get lean and stay lean isn't the ones who have the best days. It's the ones who have good days when life gets messy. Because life is going to get messy. Work is going to blow up. Sleep is going to be terrible. Something's going to come up with the kids. And if your plan has no answer for those days, then your consistency is going to cave every single time this happens. Now, think about two guys. The first guy is perfect Monday to Thursday. We all know that person. But by Friday night, there's a takeaway. Saturday is a day of just grazing all day, just really unstructured. And Sunday, this guy's doing some sort of reset binge before starting again on Monday. But the second guy is never perfect. But every single day he hits a basic meal structure, gets some movement in, and keeps his portions reasonable, even on the chaotic days. And of course, on paper, the first guy looks more disciplined. But over the course of a month, the second guy's consistency is higher, and that's a guy who slowly gets to 15%. So the question worth asking is, what does your normal day look like? And does your plan have a version of itself for the days that are more chaotic? Because if that doesn't, then your plan is not something you can get lean on. And I'm going to share a client story that will really change how you think about this. If you haven't already, meet Hossam. When he came to me, he'd been trying to lose fat for over 15 years. And in that time, he had tried keto, intermittent fasting, hit loads of zone 2 and zone 3 cardio. And every time he had done really well for like 4, even 8 weeks. But then he just quit. And by the time we started working together, his cholesterol was high, and his doctor was telling him he was bordering on fatty liver disease. So when we got to work, and over the next 18 months, he lost over 50 pounds, built a significant amount of muscle, and turned every single one of his health markers around. But here's the part that really interested me, because the training and nutrition weren't the hardest part of what we did together. During one of our check-ins, maybe a few months in, I think it was like 6 weeks in or so, Hossam kept talking about how surreal it felt to be seeing new lows on the scale. Like, he couldn't quite believe it was actually happening to him. He'd always seen himself as this fat guy. And that told me something important, because I'd been reading a paper around that time on people who lost weight and actually kept it off in the long term. And one of the biggest predictors of success wasn't the diet they followed or how hard they trained. It was how they saw themselves. So I asked him a simple question. How can you see yourself as someone who's healthy, lean, and fit? A healthy, lean, and fit man. Not how can you become one, but how can you see yourself as one right now? Believe it or not, like I said, the studies have actually shown that identity is one of the strongest predictors of long-term fat loss. And it makes sense when you think about it. If you see yourself as someone who's always struggled with their weight, every slip feels like proof that nothing's changed and that you're going to fail. But if you start seeing yourself as someone who just lives this way, the same slip just becomes a bad day rather than another reason to quit. And the guys who get to 15% body fat and stay there don't think of themselves as people on a diet. They think of themselves as people who just live at 15%. Most guys are measuring their progress in the worst possible way. They step on the scale every morning, which is good, but then they see a number they don't like, and they spend the rest of the day feeling like the whole thing isn't working. And because motivation is tied directly to that number, the moment it stops moving in the right direction, they start questioning everything. Then they're changing things up, or they just let the whole plan slide. One of the most common things here is overcompensation or overcorrecting. But the problem is that your morning weight is one of the most noisiest piece of data you can track. It depends on how much water you're holding, what you ate the night before, how well you slept, stress levels, and where you are in the week. It tells you almost nothing meaningful about whether you're body composition is actually changing, and yet it's the numbers most guys live and die by. And studies have shown that people who track behaviors and trends over time rather than just daily scale weight are significantly more likely to stick with their plan long enough to see real results, to actually get to 15% body fat. Because when you're tracking things, well, the right things, you can see your systems working, even on the weeks where the scale isn't moving. So here's what a better scorecard looks like. Track your weekly habit consistency. How many days did you actually hit your core behaviors at a good enough level? Track your waist measurement and your weight as a bi-weekly trend rather than just day to day. And track how livable your routine actually feels. Because if every week feels like some sort of crisis where you barely hang on, you just won't do it long enough to see the results you want. When you start grading yourself on your behaviors and trends rather than just daily weigh-ins, everything just shifts. 15% stops feeling like something you either nail or fail and starts feeling like something your system is just building towards. And that's when guys actually get there and stay there. So there you have it. Getting to 15% isn't about finding a better diet. It's about being consistent enough on your worst days, training in a way that actually drives change, and starting to see yourself as someone who lives that way rather than someone who's always trying to get there. And even when guys sort all of that out, there's still one problem that stops a large number of them dead in their tracks, and most of them never see it coming. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right and still not getting leaner, watch this one next. I'll see you there.